Welcome back to talkSPORT Endzone, talkSPORT's dedicated NFL YouTube channel. Myself, Will Varney, and look, I've travelled across the world, 7 hours on a flight from London to be here at the home of the New York Jets. One Jets drive, building up to a big game this weekend that will bring you live on talkSPORT 2 as the New York Jets take on the New England Patriots. It's going to be a big game. Absolute pleasure to say that here in New Jersey, I'm now joined by a man that so many people look up to in this locker room, a vet, one of the main guys on this defense, linebacker for the Jets. CJ Mosley joins us on talkSPORT Endzone. CJ, thank you so much for joining me. Great to be in person as well. Let's just start by, I wanted to get your reflections on this season so far. What have you made of this start? Obviously disappointing with the record currently 2-5, but what are your overall reflections?
We talked about it a couple of days ago, and I think it kind of sums up our season so far. The main thing was, dealing with adversity, understanding that in this sport and in life, adversity is always guaranteed. And it's a formula that Coach Brick had talked to us about. It's E plus R equals O. E being events, different events happening throughout life, throughout football. That events is going to trigger a response. Your response is like who you are, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. And that response is ultimately going to equal the outcome. So we've had a lot of events to go on so far this year, injuries, wins, losses, bad plays, good plays. Some games we responded well, some games we didn't, and that has to determine our outcome. So if you put that in perspective, still got a lot of football left, and we still got plenty of time to respond the right way. So hopefully, we keep responding the right way when adversity comes, because it's going to keep coming, and it's going to bring us closer and have more opportunities to be on the winning side of football more than the losing side. So I think we're right on track.
I wanted to ask you about, personally for yourself, you missed 3 weeks of this season already dealing with injury. How frustrating was that for you personally, being on the sidelines, not being able to have an impact on the field and just watching from afar, essentially?
Well, as a competitor, it was definitely hard. But I knew if I tried to get on the field, it was definitely a risk of me getting more injured or mainly not being able to play to my full potential. So it was definitely tough watching from the sideline, but I definitely had a lot of fun and joy, watching our team battle, more specifically my linebacker group and, just the defense. So, I had a chance to, be on the sideline really coaching. So, I didn't dwell in, not being able to play. I didn't pout and, mope around and, not be there for my teammates. I was locked in every single week like I was getting ready to play. I was helping making adjustments. I was doing everything I could because I couldn't be on the field. So, even though it was tough not playing, you just got to understand and just have faith in your teammates. And obviously, Sherwood stepping up and has been doing a great job. So, he's really made me not playing just kind of keep me calm because he's been out there balling.
When you came back for that game against the Bills, obviously a new head coach in charge, but someone you know so well in terms of Coach Ulbrich. Talk to me a little bit about, he's been your DC for the last 3 years. What have you noticed from him stepping in as that interim head coaching role, and also that adjustment to not just being the defensive play caller, but a head coach as well? What have you noticed from Coach in these first few weeks?
I would say that everything that we've been hearing from him as a defensive unit the past 4 years, just the culture, the mindset when we step out on the field, the heart, mind, fist that we talk about, how we want to play and set our tone. He's really just brought that mindset and the same speeches and really just spread it across the whole building now since he's over everybody. So it's just been really cool to watch those special teams and the offense listen to him and really take what he says to heart, because he's a very passionate coach and a man. He talks about his family all the time. Everybody in the defense definitely know his why he loved this game, why he loved the football side of the family, and why he do the things that he do. So now that everybody's kind of learning him more, to get to see him a little more vulnerable now that he's the the head coach. So I think that's just been the biggest thing. Really everybody understanding his why and really feeling his passion when he talks in front of us.
I mentioned at the start how widely respected you are in the locker room, being a vet, being a big guy on this defense. I wanted to ask you about, especially this weekend, Davante Adams came in last week. This is a guy with a vet, obviously very close with Aaron Rodgers, came in and supposedly after the Steelers game made a speech to the team. Aaron Rodgers said this week one of the realest speeches he's heard in 20 years of a locker room. I just wanted to get your view on what that speech was like for you hearing it, and also that leadership aspect that Davante's brought in since his arrival last week.
What he said is exactly what we needed. it's one thing for somebody that's been here to kind of say those things, but for someone to come in that's only been here a week and played one football game with us to be able to point those things out, it don't make you feel proud about your team, but it's the truth, and sometimes the truth is going to hurt before it sets you free. So hopefully, whoever that speech was intended for, which was all of us, I hope everybody heard it because it's real. We have to have a mindset when we're winning, and we have to have that same mindset when we're losing. And it had to be that much more important. So that's, if anything, he was just reminding everybody, like, hey, no matter how long you've been playing, how much money you made, no matter the record, it's a standard that you have to play to. So, he pretty much said what we've been trying to do and say for these past few years, but, I think it was good for it to come from somebody like him, and especially on the offensive side, because, I'm always talking. You always hear defense guys talking, but just to see somebody of his stature coming in that early, playing one game, being that, having all the accolades, having all the things that he has, and, still wanted to play for the little things, still want to do the right things because, that's just who he is, and that's how he wants to be recognized and noticed from his teammates. I think that's going to rub off the right way to some of the young guys and overall just around our whole building.
Absolutely, because I think it must be difficult having to front up when it's not going your guys' way and having to take responsibility. And I wanted to get your view on, a lot of the discussion this week has been about energy, about culture within this team, suggestions that it's not a team, it's a roster essentially. Where do you stand on that viewpoint? Because there's so much quality within this group, and it feels like whenever I've spoken to you guys and other teammates, there's so much love in this building for one another. So where do you stand on that viewpoint that there isn't that team aspect within the New York Jets right now?
I'm not sure. I don't know if that came from a player or wherever, but this is definitely a team. We've built our team. We have a hell of a roster, but we definitely built a team that's definitely love and regard and passion when we step out on the field. But what we are lacking is how we react and handle adversity, and it's shown over the past. We can't argue that. When we had the lead and the lead kind of got short, or we was fighting back and maybe had a penalty here or something there. It's just been always something that's we've been holding ourselves back on. So do we have a team? 100%, but we have to be more of a team when adversity hits. I would say that. So yeah.
How helpful is it, in your role as a leader within this team, leaders on the defense, leaders on the offense? How do you feel you need to step up then in these moments of adversity to bring the team back on track? How is your role adapting to that, do you think?
I don't think it's changed too much. It's at the end of the day, it's all about just being in the moment. Last week is not going to look like this week coming up, and obviously each week to come is going to look a little different. So there's going to be learning lessons that we all have to go through each game. But at the end of the day, it's about the simple things. It's about us lining up, making our call, executing the plays, playing penalty free, defense getting turnovers, just those little things, playing complementary football, offense, defense, special teams. So when we see in practice or in the game that that's not happening from a unit or from a player, that's when the leader or anybody that sees it not being done the right way, or if it's not winning football, then that's when you step up and say something. So it doesn't have to be the biggest speech or getting in front of the whole team and cuss somebody out, but it's about understanding what it looks like, how it's supposed to be done, and when you don't see it, say something and make sure it gets done.
In terms of this team right now, then, Aaron Rodgers said this week it's about more energy. It's about, there was a bit of a flatness for the group ahead of the Steelers game, at halftime of the Steelers game as well. He said that he wanted to bring more energy into this week, make it more fun as well. Have you noticed that from Aaron this week in his approach, how he's been within the building and in practice as well ahead of the Patriots this weekend?
Yeah, when he's on the field, that's like when he kind of shows who he is. When we're not out at practice, he's kind of chill, kind of quiet. In the locker room, he talks a little bit, but on the field, that's where you're going to see his passion. You're going to see his, everything that he brings to this game. Just today in practice, it was like the offense had a 5-yard touchdown, and the whole offense, ran to the end zone, and it was funny, and it might, some guys might have thought it was like not cool to do, but that's still energy at the end of the day, whether it's real or not, and that energy is going to carry over to the game, because what you do in practice, you will do in the game.
Hassan Reddick in the building finally. What have you noticed from him? How have you guys welcomed him as a defensive group, and what impact are you hoping that he can have on not just this weekend but also the season going forward as well as a guy on this defense?
I mean, our D line is obviously our bloodline on our defense. They do some big rotations. You have a lot of guys that can do some great things. Obviously, we know he can do with the pass rush, but with some of our coverage style of blitzes and plays, we think he can be a great addition to that. But really, he came in this week. Didn't say too much. Head down, ready to work. Same thing at practice. So I'm all for it.
Is that what you'd rather have? You'd rather have somebody who's ready to work, head down, rather than being a bit of a showman?
Yeah, I mean,
you want that.
He's ready to work.
Easy answer, I guess.
Yeah.
In terms of this weekend, then, look, the Jets in week 3 beat the Patriots. Chance for a sweep, the first time since 2000 for the Jets to do it. In terms of, I mentioned 7 sacks in that week 3 win for the Jets. Is that almost then like the perfect appetite then for somebody like Hassan Reddick coming in to make an impact on a game like this, week 8 of the season, with so much on the line as well and so much expectation?
Yeah, I mean, let's not add the fresh legs. Him coming out with a fresh start, being out there with a high motor. But yeah, that's just another weapon we have on the edge, or wherever our defense line decides to put him. So. It's going to be fun to see them out there playing, but, we just want to go out there and really execute and play really good, dominant football as a team and as a defense. I mean, I'm not a big, trash talker off the field, but, they had, 12, 14, 15 wins in a row on us. We 2 right now, so trying to keep it going. They had it going for a long time, so we gotta keep going. We gotta start showing our dominance as a team and as a defense. And we felt like we were the better team when we played them before. We executed at a high level. We did a really good job. Offense did a great job moving the ball. Special teams played a good ball, and when you playing like that, having that complementary football like we talked about, you can really do some good things. So just got to make sure we try to do that same thing this week.
Final 2 questions from me. I just wanted to ask you about Will McDonald and the strides that he's taken so far this season. It's a guy who's currently second in the NFL with sacks in terms of having 8.
Mm-hmm.
What have you seen from him so far? This is a guy who was struggling for reps last year in terms of meaningful reps. Now, just such a huge jump that he's taken so early on in his second year. Did you foresee him having such a big leap so early?
I did. Obviously it starts with, getting the right amount of reps, understanding the scheme, getting your body right. A year before, I would say he was more of a pass rusher, finesse pass rusher. And this year, he built his body right. He got his energy right. He got his mind right. And now he can be out there for run downs and pass downs. And, that's more plays for him. That's more plays for him to show what he's done. That's more plays to show his craft. But also, his passion for the game. I talked to him a little bit, during a couple of weeks, like during training camp, I would say, and just trying to ask, what's his mindset going into it, and he just said he want to go out there and dominate so he can retire and be alone. Like, hey, that's perfect. Now you know what you got to do to get there. So you can see that's what he's been doing, man. I'm happy for him, and we always there to make sure he keep doing the right thing, stay on the right track. He take care of his body, so he's learning to be a pro.
Great mindset. And just finally from myself, then, this weekend against the Patriots. So much made of it in terms of just having to get a win for this New York Jets team. In terms of then the game itself, how important is a performance, or is it just simply just getting the win in order to build some momentum and go into their next week against the Texans on Thursday Night Football with a bit of momentum?
Yeah, well, the winning is always important. We'd obviously, want to win while doing getting all our goals and playing the right style of football and playing clean football. But at the end of the day, it doesn't have to be perfect. That's why they have 2 minutes at the end of the game. We can be winning all game and it still come down to 2 minutes. We can be losing all game but still come down to 2 minutes. So it's about us handling the adversity when it comes this Sunday. It's about us executing at the right times, doing the right things. Playing penalty free, getting turnovers so we can get it back to the offense hanging on to the ball, and special teams just making plays left and right all down the field. So if we do those 3 things and we play within ourselves and play smart football, then at the end of the day we can live with those results.
CJ, look forward to seeing it on Sunday play out against the Patriots. Thank you so much for joining us here on talkSPORT. All the best for the weekend.